Now that we have the program and benefit and needs information, we can go ahead and create the intake record. And you could use a create record right away. You could assign in a variable and then create. So I'm going to use the second option in a subflow as well. And I'll show you why I'm doing this in a second. It does, like, everything is fine. All of them, all of these approaches are correct. Just a matter of getting organized and probably a matter of personal preference as well. I'm gonna go create a new subflow to assign these. Let's create a new subflow. And let's select an auto launched. And first I'm going to assign, let's create a new variable first. I'm going to create that intake record variable intake. That's a record of object intake. And now I'll just click it again so that I can access the fields, and I need the intake program to be the program that the person selected. I don't have that in the subflow. I have it on the parent flow. So I'm going to need to create a variable to receive that piece of information from the parent. So I'm going to create a new text variable, program ID. And that is a text available for input. We're going to receive it from the parent. Let's continue. For the benefit, we're going to need to send the benefit from the parent as well. So another text variable. That's a benefit ID, and that's a text, and that's available for input as well. And this is an assignment where we assign program and benefit. I could assign the remaining, the needs and the number of academic years in one assignment, but I would rather split them into two. So I'm going to say assign program and benefit like this, and then I'm going to use another assignment for the needs and number of academic years and cost. The reason is that now it's going to be easier. Like if you want to find out where the program is being assigned, you can search for that keyword. Another thing which might not be relevant for us in this case, but say you want to do something before another, like you want the program to be assigned before the benefit, you can't click and drag it. You can't just like click something and drag it. So let's go ahead and do the second assignment first, and I'm going to show you that again. Let's assign needs, and here we need to assign three things: the needs, and this is a text variable underscore needs, and we're sending that text from the parent, and we also need the number of academic years, and this is let's create a new resource. We're just repeating the same things now. Number variable, and that's academic years, and that's a number. It's available for input, and then the last thing is the cost per academic year, and that's a currency. Cost per academic year, and that's a currency, and available for input. Okay, now when I was saying earlier that we can't rearrange elements in an assignment, we can do that with multiple assignments. So if I want the needs to be assigned first, I can just cut this and move it up ahead. So I can rearrange things like this, but inside one assignment I can't do that. And this is going to be important when you have something like add into a collection. Let's say we have a collection here and we need to add this record variable into the collection. You need it to be added to the collection after you assign, not before. So if you have created the collection and then you assigned it, and then you remembered after that you needed to assign one additional value, you can't just add an assignment after it to assign that additional value. It's not going to get assigned. It's getting added to the collection before the assignment. So you're gonna need to move this down, and to move it down you can. So you're gonna have to clear the fields and then just assign the field here first, and then they assign the collection last. maybe we come across a situation like this where we can use that. Right, so we're assigning everything into this record collection variable, and now we can go ahead and create that intake. So let's create intake, and since we already assigned it, so we're gonna select from a record variable, and we can select that record variable intake. Let's save this, and subflow create intake. Let's activate this. You could do these three elements on the parent flow. You could use only one assignment. You can use create, and then in the create use manual, and then just like take the intake object and then assign things right away. All of this works. There is no right and wrong there. I'm sure I activated this. Let's go to the parent now and refresh. I'll close this now. I'd rather close tabs and just reopen them again. Okay, now down here, instead of adding three elements, I'm just gonna add one where we create the intake, and let's say create intake. It is expecting a bunch of things. Let's take the currency cost per academic year, and number of academic years here, number of academic years. We're taking the value of number of academic years from the screen, and we're sending it to that variable in the subflow. The benefit ID is the one from the data table. Select benefit, first select row, and then benefit ID. And the needs is the needs from the screen, and then the program ID is the one from select program, first selected row, program ID. And it is the one under record fields, not the relationship. This one, if you hover here, it's gonna say parent program ID. We only need the program ID, not the parent program ID. Let's save this. And now let's debug and see if this is working. I'll just go to the intakes object while this is loading. Let's now run this. All right, alpha, and potato, and then education, tuition. Let's add some information here to something, and all done. Now let's refresh this. We should expect 7 here. We've got 7, we've got created successfully. Let's see if everything is populated. The participant was not populated. We see everything else got populated successfully. It's only the participant that was not populated. All right, let's go back to the subflow. We're gonna open this subflow, and looks like we forgot the participant. And right, I'm gonna use another assignment, assign participant. You could put all of them in one. That's the intake, and then participant equals, I'm gonna create a variable to receive this from the parent, text variable underscore participant contact ID. Okay, and text available for input, saving as a new version, activate. Right, now let's refresh this. One thing I also noticed, let's fix right now as well. I wanted this button finish to say submit intake instead. So we're gonna go under footer, and then we'll use next or finish button, and then use a custom label, and let's say submit intake. Just say this. And now let's go to that subflow, and let's send the, it just sometimes does that. Let's send the participant contact ID, and that's the select participant first selected row person contact ID. There it is. The API name is person contact ID. Right, let's save. Now let's debug again. selecting everything and just adding some information. Submit intake, submitted successfully. Let's go here. We should expect number 8, and the participant is also not coming over. All right, let's see why. Looking at debug, I would want to look at the value that we are sending down. So we have the create intake here, that's the subflow. And let's see the value of the program ID is being sent. The participant is null, the person account is null. All right, I am doubting one thing. If we go back to get household members, maybe we are not retrieving that field. Let's see. When we get these person accounts, down here we are not getting the contact ID. So we're gonna add the contact here, person contact ID. Let's save as a new version. And let's activate. And let's try again. Debug, alpha, potato, education, tuition, and to 5,000, submit. Okay. All right. Let's see. Participant ID value of incorrect type. Participant, when it is attempting to create the intake, it's saying that this is of incorrect type. All right, so this seems to have to do with the idea of account person, account contact. We were passing the person account, the contact ID instead of the account ID. Let's try sending the account ID instead. And I know that we are getting the account ID. It's the only thing that we get out of the box. All right, let's assign the account ID instead in the create intake here. This field here, if I click edit, it says search accounts. It doesn't say search contacts. So that's likely the reason. Let's assign participant and let's make all right. Let's rename things to be proper. Let's say this is account ID instead. Let's activate. And let's refresh this. And then we're gonna send the account ID instead of the contact ID this time. Create, and then participant, we don't need this anymore, and then the account ID is select participant, first selected row, and then account ID. Let's select account ID this time, and let's save and debug. Selecting alpha and education, tuition to 5,000, submit. Now it went through successfully. We're gonna hope that the number 9 has the participant in there. Participant is populated successfully. Every other field is populated successfully.